Hello everyone, so today I've got a haul video, a few things from HMV, a couple of things from CEX, and a package from my good friend Al. Al doesn't have a YouTube channel, but he watches YouTube, comments on my videos, message him outside of YouTube. We've sent quite a few packages back and forth. Think obviously I owe in the next package I've got a couple of things set aside to send him, so yeah, thank you Al. I know how reinforced your packages are, so I've already cut it open with a knife because I thought it's a bit loud on YouTube to use dynamite to blow it open. Might deafen all the listeners. Yeah, not looked what's in here. Obviously Al has told me, as he's been putting stuff to one side, he's messaged, do I need this? Do I want the upgrade? But I can't remember what some of it is. A couple I do, but I won't say because it will be a spoiler. But yeah, it looks like it's very well padded and that inside. I tried to open the box gently, so I might be able to reuse it, but I've had to butcher it slightly. Yeah, I'll show this first, and then I'll get on with the HMV and CEX pickups. Right, let's see if I can get this out. I say it's very well wrapped up. Shouldn't put the knife away. Yeah, very well packaged now. Sorry, hopefully this ain't too loud and annoying on the video. This is like the opposite of ASMR. ASMR is usually nice, relaxing noises. But yeah, fair play how you've wrapped it up well. You could probably work at Fort Knox or Alcatraz. Right. Would grab the one on the end first, the box set that I know what it is, but it's too tight, so I'm getting a random. Is the Reaper. So Tony Todd. Big fan of Tony Todd. Just recently watched, spoiler alert for the next recent watches, Night of the Living Dead from 1990, the Tom Savini remake. Tony Todd is in that, really good role. Used to see him in, obviously, Candyman as the titular character. He was in Final Destination, not a massive part, and so at least the first Hatchet film, again, not a massive part. He plays like Papa Voodoo or something, is he called? Like a voodoo priest. But yeah, it was good to see him playing a serious role in Night of the Living Dead, and he pulls it off really well as like the main hero. But yeah, Tony Todd in Reaper, directed by Kimberly Seilhamer. 83 minutes long, 18, contains strong language and violence. Good to hear. 2013. So yeah, Al watched this. I think he said it was okay. He didn't love it, so maybe, yeah, I think he said like one time watch, did I want it? So said I'd never heard of it, but I'm willing to check it out. So yeah, see how I get on with that. The Reaper. I'll show the DVDs first and save the Blu-rays to last. Madison County. So yeah, this is one I kind of had heard of. Obviously Madison County is a real place. But yeah, Al said this is quite a fun one. Slasher film fans will especially like this outing. You're not welcome here. Kiss your axe goodbye. Quite a good tagline. Yeah, I like it when they make a funny tagline. 18, contains strong bloody violence. 83 minutes from 2011. Again, Al said this is a good kind of stalk and slasher in the woods. I do really like films that are set in the woods, forest, whatever you call it. Outside of like Wrong Turn and The Forest with Natalie Dormier, which ain't great, although she looks good in it. From Game of Thrones. The Woods, which I've recently watched. Yeah, there's not too many films kind of all set in the woods, whereas it is a location that I do enjoy. So, written and directed by Eric England, starring Collie Bailey, Matt Mercer, Ace Marrero, Joanna Sotomura, Natalie Sheets. Hopefully she did it in the woods. And Nick Principe as Damien. So yeah, I don't know too much, but yeah, I would say it's, fun enough. I guess from these kind of lower budget horrors, they're not going to be the next Exorcist, but yeah, it might be enjoyable. This one, Habit, grabs you by the throat, Playboy said. Not sure what Playboy know about horror films, but it's a quote from them. Haunting, vivid, amazing, directed by Larry Fessenden. I've got some other films by him, at least one I watched not too long ago, but I can't think what it is. But yeah, I thought this would be like quite an unknown, low budget film. But yeah, Larry Fessenden is quite a famous director. What was it he did? I don't think it was even a horror film. And let me know in the comments if anybody knows. Sure, Vida X Forever, James I think he's called, or Stephen from TV Nash. Steve from Steve 4 Films, those have got insane film knowledge, so sure they know something with Larry Fessenden in. 112 minutes. It's not got the rating on the side, so I'm guessing this is like a region 1. To be fair, the Night of Living Dead remake Stuart sent me on Umbrella is region, I guess it's A for Blu-ray, but that played on my PS5 fine. Bit worried I'd put it in and it wouldn't be able to read it. Obviously I would have still kept it in the collection because it's a horror film I've always wanted to own, but good that I could watch it. Yeah, so again, obviously Hour sent me all photos of these and sort of said, do you want this? So I was kind of like, don't know how, never heard of it, don't know anything about it, but I'll give it a go. Yeah, I'm willing to give any film a try unless, you know, it's going to be a musical or Grease Part 3, starring Jedward or something, then yeah, I'm happy usually to check out any film, especially genre films and kind of low budget. They could be low budget gems that I really enjoy, or they could be so bad they're hilarious, or they could just be really bad, but either way, thank you, Al. Horns. So yeah, I did have this one on Blu-ray. I think maybe I sent the Blu-ray. It had like a lenticular cover. I think I did send it to Al. Did enjoy it as a film, but it just, yeah, one I watched and wasn't planning on watching again. But coincidentally, this is directed by Alexander Arjar, and I didn't know that at the time when I gave it away. Yeah, I watched it once years ago when I first got it. I did quite enjoy it, which is one I never felt going back to. Then I was watching a video on YouTube of like underrated horror films or something it was. It might have been Alexander Arjar Films Ranked. And then when someone said this was a film by him, I was kind of like, oh, perhaps I shouldn't give it away, not just in terms of might have went back and really enjoyed it more, but also, yeah, trying to get all the Alexander Arjar films. So he does, it's a French extreme film. Is it High Tension? I think he does High Tension. Then he does Hitman. He does, obviously, this one. Crawl. Quite a few Mirrors. Yeah, I've got quite a few films by him. But yeah, didn't know he was sending that, so thank you, Al. Yeah, sent away the Blu-ray. Let me know if it was you I sent it to. I think so, but not 100%. I think it's when I was quite new on YouTube and I did that giveaway of a load of films. Some went to Marcus, some went to Sammy G. Sorry, Marcus from X-File 2708. Some went to Al. But yeah, kind of I've been wanting to get this back to watch it again and have it in the collection because it's Alexander Arjar trying to get all of his films. But yeah, did have the Blu-ray, now got the DVD, so you could say it's a downgrade. But yeah, was recently thinking of trying to grab that again and just never see the Blu-ray in CEX or anything. So quite a weird coincidence, but thank you, Al. This is the one I do remember what it is. It's the Dusk Till Dawn trilogy, or should I say From Dusk Till Dawn. Yeah, so obviously I do have the original on VHS behind me, if you can see it. Present courtesy of Joshua Fulci Fan 1015. Really good guy in the community, good friend from Australia. Insane collection. I've said this a lot of times, but loads of video nasties, loads of good VHS, loads of pre-cert, great Pennywise collection, good Lord of the Ring. Yeah, me and him's got a lot in common in films. He sent me the VHS. Obviously, I have seen number 1. Don't think I've seen any of the sequels, but never actually really owned it on a format other than VHS. Which I do have a VHS player, but it's not seeming to work properly. Got it at a charity shop. And the bit where the AV cable goes in the back, or the SCART, it's a bit bent in that and it won't fit. So yeah, I'm going to have to mess around with that. But in the meantime, at least I can watch these on DVD. Yeah, nice box set to add. Probably go up on the shelf if anyone watched the movie room tour. You'll see there's a lot of box sets, especially DVD ones up on that shelf. yeah, good to finally watch Dust from Dawn 2, Dust from Dawn 3. Not sure how great they are. It's 4 discs, so I'm guessing, yeah, it's got a lot of special features. Coincidentally, just seen this one in CEX for £5. So yeah, Al could have probably traded that in CEX's prices. They're selling for 5. They're probably only offering you a quid, but you know, still appreciate you sending that to me, Al. Probably put the weight up on your cost to send the parcel as well. All right, and now I've got 4 Blu-rays. Let's see if I can remember them as I bring them out. So Lost Boys the first. So yeah, when Al sent a photo of what a lot of titles he was moving on, do I want them? It was kind of led like that. I don't know if you can see that. I thought it was the original Lost Boys, which crazily enough I only have on DVD, not on Blu-ray. So I was like, yeah, I'll have the Lost Boys, Al. One of my favourite vampire films. Classic 80s. I guess it's quite could be seen as homoerotic, not as much as Freddy's Revenge, Freddy Part 2. Doesn't bother me, but yeah, it's got a certain kind of cheesy 80s fashion, brilliant music soundtrack. But Al said no, this is I think the 3rd one. So I've not heard great things about the sequel, but obviously if I'm getting it gifted, happy to check it out. And yeah, it looks like it goes more into the story of the Frog Brothers, which were 2 of the best characters out of the original Lost Boys for me. Obviously has Corey Feldman playing Edgar Frog, but Alan Frog is played by Jameson Newlander. I don't think he was the guy in the original one. Directed by Dario Piana. Not sure I've heard of him. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is going to be a great one. Al said it's decent. You know, if you're into the original, you might want to see the sequel. So, yeah, thank you. I'll be interested to check that one out. I think he did say part 2 is not too hard to pick up. So I'll probably grab that so I've got all 3. But yeah, I do need to upgrade the original Lost Boys to be fair. Oh yeah, this one I remember him showing a picture. Yeah, I've heard quite good things about this. Heard it's quite a creepy one. The Apparition. I think it's quite recent. Oh, 2011. But I swear I have seen this in HMV on sale a few times recently for about a tenner or so. Directed by Todd Lincoln. Ashley Greene, Sebastian Stan, Tom Felton starring in it. It's a 15, contains strong sustained threat and horror. 2011, running time 82 minutes. Yeah, don't know too much, but looks a good one. But yeah, always happy to add some more horrors into the collection on Blu-ray. Obviously, as I said in the when anyone ever sends me anything, but I think I said in the video where Roy had sent me Encounter of the Spooky Kind on Eureka, and Stuart had sent me a bumper box of about 12 titles, including Gorgo on 4K. Thank you, Stuart, and thank you, Roy. I did say even if there's films I don't like, I'm not going to ever trade them in or whatever because they've been gifts. So yeah, if I don't get on with any of these, I'll keep them in the collection. If any of these DVDs, sort of lower budget ones, I really don't like, maybe I'll check with you, Al, but maybe I could send them on to another YouTuber for free, see how they get on with them. But yeah, obviously I'm not trying to look into trade them in CEX or anywhere and make any profit off of Al's generosity. Oh, I don't think, yeah, I've heard of this. I can't remember. I think Al was sending so many pictures of like a stack. You know, there'd be a pile of, say, 10 Blu-rays. 8 of them I already own. 1 of them I might not be interested in. Then 1 I wouldn't know. So I'd always say, yeah, happy to check it out. Send it to me. But at the same time, when someone's offering you quite a few things, don't want to be too greedy and be like, yeah, I'll have 50 titles. Pay £50 postage, please. But yeah, it's Jessica Chastain, who I'm a big fan of. She's really good in more recent remakes of It. And Michael Shannon, I've heard of him, but don't know what I've seen him in. Written and directed by Jeff Nichols. I think I spoke about him recently. Is it Jeff? No. Someone else, Mike Nichols, I'm thinking of. Maybe Jeff Nichols is his son. Although Jeff sounds like the dad rather than the son. Jeff's an older name than Mike, in my opinion. Sensational end-of-day psychological thriller. I won't read all the back on that because otherwise this video will go on too long. A masterpiece. Michael Shannon gives a performance of the year. So yeah, I'm guessing they're hiding in a air raid shelter, I guess you call it. Yeah, I think Al did mention this and said it was a decent one. But yeah, don't know too much about that. And then Life After Beth. So yeah, it looks like a kind of, well, it says romantic comedy to die for. Most people probably know I'm not into my rom-coms in general, but it looks a bit more of a horror. Oh yeah, I do remember Al speaking about this. It's got Aubrey Plaza, who I really like. Good actress, really good in Parks and Recreation. The best bit of that Child's Play remake from about 6 years ago. Probably not a spoiler to say Chucky's like an AI robot in it. I didn't hate that film. Seen it at the cinema. Had some quite good kills. Really tense moment with the woman in the car. But yeah, Aubrey Plaza, not just a good actress, but yeah, easy on the eye. Directed by Jeff Baena. Strong language, violence, sex and sex references. 85 minutes from the year 2014. Isn't got too long a synopsis, so I'll quickly read this out. Zach, played by Dane DeHaan, is devastated by the unexpected death of his girlfriend Beth, Aubrey Plaza, but when she miraculously comes back to life, Zach takes full advantage of the opportunity to share and experience all the things he regretted not doing with her before. However, the newly returned Beth isn't quite how he remembered her, and before long, Zach's whole world takes a turn for the worse. So yeah, horror comedy. It's kind of along the lines of like Shaun of the Dead, Zombieland. Yeah, it looks an interesting one. I think Al said it was quite a fun one, but yeah, I get the same where I watch some films that are good, and if I'm not going to watch them again, I don't keep them in the collection now. I kind of used to, but once you're running out of space and that, I guess you've got to be quite picky on what you're keeping. So yeah, happy to check all those out. Thank you, Al. Thank you. A very nice padded box, everything in great condition. I guess even if it was delivered by Hermes and they played football with it and kicked it down the stairs, then it still might not have been broken. So yeah, well done, Al. Good packaging and that. I'll message you anyway saying thanks. Yeah, got a couple of titles for you to one side. Send them off once I got enough to make it worth it. So yeah, that's the package from Al. So yeah, a few things I'd either forgot or Al had chucked in as a surprise. But yeah, good stuff there. Let me quickly show you in case you want to pause it or anything and see what you got. But Life After Beth, Take Shelter, The Apparition, The Lost Boys, From Dusk Till Dawn box set, Horns. Yeah, a bit of a weird coincidence. I was thinking of getting that one back. Like I say, mostly because it's an Alexander Arjar film, and I'm trying to get all his films and do a ranking. Habit, Madison County, and The Reaper. So yeah, thank you, Al. Appreciate all of those. Really good gift, and yeah, ones I will be interested in watching. Right, next I'll show the HMV stuff. So went to HMV last Friday, as I had to go into Bristol anyway for something else. Grabbed a few titles, but I knew there was stuff coming out today, so I knew I kind of had to go back Monday. So yeah, probably wouldn't have bothered going Friday if I wasn't sort of going there anyway. But yeah, I've got 4 titles from today and 5 titles from Friday. So I'll show the ones I picked up today first. So Severance, 4K, Christopher Smith film, really good film, big fan of this. Really good comedy horror, sort of like a British version of The Wrong Turn crossed with Shaun of the Dead. I kind of know the humour's a bit different. The humour's kind of a bit like Human Traffic. Have anyone seen that? It's a Christopher Smith film, so yeah, get the humour in his other films. I guess Creep and Triangle and Black Death aren't actually that funny, so it's not a good example. But yeah, this has been on my radar for years. Knew it was a Christopher Smith film, one of my favourite British directors, probably the favourite, at least of horror. Never got it, didn't see it around for years. And then when I spoke to Ash from Popcorn and Horror, he said he spotted a DVD copy for £1 in his local CEX. So he bought it and sent it to me, paid the package and packaging, postage price. Thank you, Ash. Once I watched the DVD, yeah, watched it twice, really enjoyed it. Me and Ash sort of started messaging about a lot of the quotables from it, some really good lines. And then, yeah, thought it'd be stuck on DVD for a long time. I think Umbrella did a Blu-ray upgrade, but you'd have to import it from Australia. I think it's about £50 just for the thing, plus the importation. So £25 for a 4K, quite expensive. But yeah, if I had bought that a few months ago when other people did, then now the 4K's out, I'd have been thinking I should have waited and got the 4K and probably cost me like a third of the price. But yeah, really funny. Really do enjoy this. Quite an underrated film in my opinion. Probably my second favourite film by Christopher Smith. Yeah, Neil Marshall done Dog Soldiers and The Descent, which I think are higher peaks than Christopher Smith has reached. But recently he's done, I think, one called The Lair, which I've heard's bad. That one called Duchess, which is kind of like EastEnders acting with a contrived plot. Didn't really like that. Traded it in. I think he's done one or two more recent, but yeah, other than Dog Soldiers and The Descent, I think most of his other films haven't been great. Whereas Christopher Smith has done Severance, Triangle, Creep, and Black Death, which I think are all well-made films. And then, yeah, Neil Marshall's recent stuff seems to be quite bad, whereas Christopher Smith, the most recent thing I've seen by him was a documentary, or not documentary, a series on, I think it was BBC iPlayer. I think it was called Nasties, but it was about these kids that are finding the video nasties. Had a lot of good references, some quite good humour. It's like a drama, but yeah, quite enjoyed that. I think Ash and Marcus watched it. It was like 5 or 6 parts. But yeah, once I watched one episode, I was kind of like, I recognise his style. And once I seen it was the director, Christopher Smith. So yeah, he is still doing good stuff nowadays, and hope he will be doing another really good film, as good as Creep. Because yeah, Creep my favourite. So this I've upgraded to Blu-ray, 4K. So I have got a spare DVD going. I've upgraded another Christopher Smith film. I will show you once I get to it at the end of this, because it's from CEX. This one I've been waiting for a long time. Watched it on Shudder over a year ago. Thought it was one of the most crazy, gory, insane films I've ever seen, or especially in recent times. Waited probably a couple of years since this first came out on Shudder, and it was Shudder exclusive. So I waited a long time for this to get released. So once Arrow announced they were releasing it, I was really glad. It's The Sadness on 4K. I think it's Taiwanese. Yeah, Taiwanese film. Korea, Japan, China, Hong Kong, probably the leading exponents of Asian cinema in general, but mostly Asian horror. But Taiwan recently really coming onto the scene with this. I think, what's it called? It's a couple I've watched on Shudder. I'll put the name in the description if I remember, because yeah, I've only watched one of them once. I think Grafted maybe was from Taiwan. There was one called How Not to Treat Others or something, which is one of the most messed up films I've ever seen. I think that was from Taiwan. I think there's one called Impetigore. But yeah, basically the new Taiwanese movement is really extreme horror, but unlike, say, Hostel, Sallow, which are depressing and done in a nasty way, as much as this has got some insane gore, it's a kind of almost a post-apocalyptic zombie film. So if you can think of a more modern, extreme version of Dawn of the Dead, imagine kind of Dawn of the Dead done by Gaspar Noé. It's sort of, but yeah, even though it's gory, it's got a few scenes where I'm like, well, never seen, even in Serbian film and stuff, there's scenes in here, they don't go that far, but it's all done in more of a, I say fun, in such an over-the-top kind of, it's almost a romp, really, rather than, a depressing, nasty film that's really going to upset you. But yeah, The Sadness, I know Sammy G's World of Cinemas picked that up. He's done a really good unboxing, going into more detail on things, so go and check out Sammy G's channel. I think I might speak about him again before the end of this video. This one wasn't too sure. Oh, the slipcase is a bit damaged. Whether I was going to get this, because Jurassic World, I think it's just called Jurassic World, I did quite enjoy the one with Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Page, is she? Yeah, I quite like that, outside of the original Jurassic Park, and then Jurassic Park Lost World, which I think is one of Spielberg's most underrated films. Jurassic Park 3 with the Spinosaurus wasn't great. Jurassic World I enjoyed. Fallen Kingdom, I still enjoyed it, ain't a great film. Dominion, I seen at the cinema, was a bit long, and I just had a problem with. I think Roy sort of said similar thing, Roy Barrett from Blue Roy Movies, when he spoke about Dominion. The setup is dinosaurs all over the world. Let's go with the plot of they're on the beaches. You could see a Brachiosaurus running through Hyde Park. Then go to like Australia, and there's a massive, what are they called? Mosasaur attacking the Barrier Reef. Just go in with the plot of dinosaurs all over the world, how humans are coexisting amongst them. But no, they go with this weird plot of giant locusts, which I didn't get. But heard this is a more fun one. So yeah, I didn't get the 4K, so I didn't want to pay $25 in case I don't like it. But it's directed by Gareth Edwards. who did, I mean, it says here Rogue One, a Star Wars story, which I quite enjoyed, but obviously weren't on the level of the original Star Wars trilogy from the 70s and 80s. But he did The Raid 1 and 2, which are two of the best modern, I say modern, best action films of the last 20, 30 years. Really good fighting, good choreography, yeah, just decent films. So once I heard he was doing this, I thought, even if it doesn't hit on the story and the acting, it's got to have some good action scenes. So hopefully this is like dinosaurs with, how should I say it? The Raid with dinosaurs, I guess. I doubt Velociraptors are going to be flying kicking people, but be interesting if they do. But yeah, I thought if I buy it, watch it quite soon within the next week, even if I don't like it, I'll probably trade it in a CEX for 10 or so. So I'm not losing too much to own it. But yeah, a lot of people that didn't like Fallen Kingdom and Dominion for the direction they went in have said this is a fun one. Yeah, not expecting it to be, Shawshank Redemption level of filmmaking, but yeah, I'll give it a try. I know Stuart picked that one up, and I just love dinosaur films, so, even Fallen Kingdom, a lot of people might say is the worst, or Jurassic Park 3, I still enjoy those films. I can go back and watch a really low-budget dinosaur film from the 60s and get fun out of it when it's like rubber models, so yeah, let me know in the comments if you've seen Jurassic World Rebirth. But yeah, one I expect to get some kind of enjoyment out of. And then this one is an upgrade for me. Usually when I do upgrade things, I either trade them in at CEX or I pass them on to a friend or a fellow YouTuber. I won't really be able to with this one. I'll show you why in a second, but it's the Free Extremes. I don't know if it has... Yeah, I think this is just disc 1. It's confusing me where it says free and then Free Extremes. Let me show you on here. So yeah, basically on Tartan Asia Extreme, Stuart's favourite label, Stuart Gordon, he's a director, Stuart George's home movies, always calls it the Tartan Army Extreme, which I think is something to do with Glasgow Rangers hooligan firm. But yeah, you can get, hopefully there's not too much glare, Free Extremes Part 1 with 3 films on, 3 short films. This is 3 of the best Asian directors ever. So Park Chan-wook, Miike Takashi, and Fruit Chan, all on this one disc. And then part 2 is Kim Ji-woon, gone on to be one of the best Korean director, Asian in general. Nonzi Nimebüter and Peter Hosen Chan. Yeah, don't know the other 2. Yeah, part 1 much better than part 2. But yeah, where I usually if I upgrade something, I don't need the DVD anymore, I'll pass it on. But yeah, obviously I'll be keeping those because that's part of my complete Tartan Asia Extreme collection. Just trying to find out. Yeah, it's just part 1 by the look of it. To have a proper read of it in a minute. I mean, I'm assuming if this is just part 1, like how I've just showed part 1, part 2 on DVD, then they will do part 2. Yeah, because it's got 2 discs on that, it's making me wonder whether they've just condensed both editions onto this one. I didn't want to be reading all this whilst you're waiting. Let me just quickly scan it. Kim Ji-woon does Memories. Nonzi Nimebüter does The Wheel. Peter Hosen Chan. And then Dumpling. Yeah, so it has got all 6 segments. So yeah, it's part 1 and part 2 condensed onto this one disc. So quite good value for $17.99. Have I been telling you the prices on these? I think so, but yeah, just go over them. Obviously the ones from Al were gifts, but Severance was $24.99. Sorry, I always try and do this so people know how much. $14.99 for Jurassic World Rebirth, although you can get the Blu-ray at $24.99. The Sadness was $24.99. Quite expensive for the, it's not a bad price for a single 4K with a slipcase, but when they do the bigger box, let me grab one, for example, I think this was only $30 for this kind of chunky special 2-disc box. So sometimes I think, better value if they bump this up, make it a big collector's edition for only an extra $5. But I guess it's a $5 save, so shouldn't be moaning. And then, yeah, this was $17.99. Kind of a going rate for a new Arrow Video Blu-ray. But yeah, happy to have that on Blu-ray. It was good on DVD, but Sure be a better picture on Blu-ray. Right, here's the batch I picked up last Friday in HMV. Like I said, I was kind of going in there anyway to do something, so I thought I'll have a look. And these were in the sale, some of these, so I didn't know how long the sale would be going on, so I got them whilst I could. But this one I have already watched, really fun film. I won't speak about it too much now because it'll be on the forthcoming recent watches, but it's Bad Channels on 88 Films. $14.99. I have ripped it open there so I can get it out. I think, yeah, the disc is still in the player. It's not really even a horror. I thought it'd be like a sci-fi horror, but it's more just a sci-fi comedy. It's from Ted Nicolau, who does Terrorvision and Subspecies. Not seen those. Full Moon features, owned by Charles Band, that do like Puppet Master, Demonic Toys, Head of the Family, Shrunken Heads. They can be hit and miss, quite low budget and crap sometimes, but not going to lie, this was fun. It was funny. It was genuinely entertaining all the way through. Kind of cheap, schlocky sci-fi, but with a bit of a difference. Won't go into all the plot and everything. Got a lot of special features, which I haven't watched yet. Good soundtrack by Blue Oyster Cult. Sure everyone knows Don't Fear the Reaper by them. Probably their most famous song. Then there are a few smaller bands that appear and play songs. I'm guessing it's a bit of a musical, really, because there's one bit where people are in a room talking, 5 people just burst in, start playing guitar, singing, and doing a music number. But where most musicals, like, say, Grease, which I'm not going to try and pick on Grease too much, but I find the songs cheesy, kind of like pop music that I wouldn't listen to outside of the film, whereas this was all by, like, underground rock and punk bands, and some of the songs are a bit silly. One bit where a guy's led in a hospital bed, pretending to be a zombie and singing these weird lyrics about a zombie in a weird voice, was a bit strange, but I didn't hate it. Main guy, Dan O'Dare, played by Paul Hipp, got a really good radio voice that when he's on the radio doing his pranks and stuff. Yeah, he fits this role really well. Like I say, good soundtrack, funny. It's only a 12. But yeah, if you're into your kind of lower budget horror from, can I find a year? 1992. Then yeah, I think you might get on with Bad Channels. Probably a joke in there to be made about some YouTube bad channels, but I'm not going to dig anybody out. You might leave in the comments if that applies to me, if you like. This is a film I watched years ago when it was on TV, really liked it. Don't think it's ever had a release until now, but yeah, didn't kind of seen on Amazon it was forthcoming and forgot about it. When I went in a HMV, picked this one up, hopefully not too much glare, is The Crimson Rivers, starring Jean Reno from Leon, Vincent Cassel from lots of films, most famously maybe from, I was going to say The In-Betweeners then, Irreversible, Nadia Fares, not sure I've seen her in anything, filmed by Matthew Kasovitz, who Sammy G informs me directed La Haine, which I do have, also does have Vincent Cassel, not watched it yet, but heard it's a brilliant film. This is the Blu-ray version on a Curzon release for $17.99. The 4K was available at $24.99, but I thought, unlike something like Avatar, that's all colourful and is going to look great in 4K, kind of like a gritty serial killer thriller, I don't think it would look that much better or sound that much better in 4K. So yeah, sometimes I'll go for the 4K if it's like £10 more, whereas with this, yeah, I thought it's probably not worth paying the extra £8. But yeah, really good serial killer thriller. Bit when they're in the glacier, I guess you call it, like looking for evidence and things. Probably my favourite scene from it. But yeah, as you can probably tell from the cast and the director, it is a French language film, so there will be some subtitles to read. But yeah, I think I watched this one back before I really started getting into foreign cinema, and the subtitles never bothered me. Maybe it's got a dubbing version if you don't like reading subtitles. This one I wanted to get when it was originally released by Arrow years ago. Well, I say years ago. I think it came out this year, but it just never was available in HMV. It was out of stock on Amazon, so I would have paid $24.99 for it like a week or so ago. 6 months. Let's say it came out 6 months ago. Sorry, I'm getting distracted because I'm thinking of Gina Davis, but it's A Long Kiss Goodnight on 4K. So yeah, not actually seen this before. This will be a new watch. From screenwriter Shane Black, that wrote Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, The Nice Guys. I think he directed Predators. He starred in Predator, I can't remember the guy's name in it, but the one who's like a field medic, gets hit in the ribs with the flying log trap. But yeah, good screenwriter, directed by Rennie Harlin, who's hit and miss, Die Hard 2, Cliffhanger, Nightmare on Elm Street 4, Dream Warrior, Dream Master. Most of the films, even if I enjoy them, they're not well made. Whereas I'm guessing this is probably the consensus is this might be his best made film. But yeah, Gina Davis in it. Big fan of her, especially in Beetlejuice and The Fly. It'd be good to see her as like a femme fatale. Maybe in like a sexier role than you're used to. So yeah, that would have been $24.99 down to $17.99. Probably wouldn't have paid £25 for it nowadays, but yeah, 18 when it's on the sale for one I was kind of looking at getting anyway. Obviously, there is an Arrow video sale going on at HMV, but the ones that are like £9 for like the standard editions pretty much had them all, other than the Abominable Dr. Phibes, I guess it's called, with Vincent Price. Let me know if that's one worth picking up. It looks like an old, I don't think it's Hammer, maybe it's like Amicus, but yeah, sure, Stuart George or Roy will know if that's a decent one worth getting whilst it's £9. But yeah, the rest I pretty much already had. This, good value, 2 for $15. So got this one, not meant to be a great film, but it's a video nasty. Thought I'm never going to really get it cheaper than this. It's probably known as The Mountain of the Cannibal God. I will reverse the slip artwork in a bit to The Mountain of the Cannibal God, because that's what I've always known it as. But yeah, got Ursula Andress, very attractive. Meant to be a very gory film. Don't know if this is cut or anything, but yeah, obviously I am trying to collect all the video nasty, so one I did need to get to add to the collection, and it says 2 for $15, but both of these were $14.99, so I saved 15 quid basically. It's buy one get one free. So yeah, they're calling it Slave of the Cannibal God, but I know it is Mountain of the Cannibal God. So that means I've got 6 Shameless yellow Blu-rays now. So where I did have them filed amongst here, and I think Stephen from TV Nash commented saying put them separately with the boutique. I was kind of like, well, I've only got 4 or say 5, 6 Eureka. I've kept them filed in with the general films, but once I get enough, I will move them into the boutique Blu-ray. So this one, don't know too much about it as a film, but it's by Michel Salvi, who does Della Morte Della More, aka The Cemetery Man, and The Church, which are both good B-movie Italian horrors. So I thought I'll go for The Sect, aka The Devil's Daughter. But yeah, good value that is, $7.50 each, or basically buy one get one free. So yeah, that's everything I got from HMVs on 2 trips. Here's 2 I've had to order online. So I think I've said before, but HMV don't stock Eureka titles. I knew this was coming out a few months ago, always one that interested me. Didn't realise it was by Larry Cohen, but the cast of Eric Roberts, James Earl Jones, aka Darth Vader, Megan Gallagher, and Red Buttons. I think Red Buttons is in the Poseidon Adventure. The Ambulance. Hopefully that's not too glary. Comes with a nice slipcase. Haven't opened it yet. I think this was £17 on Amazon. So yeah, I had to order it on Amazon just because they don't stock it in HMV. Heard it's a good kind of sort of horror mystery film. Looks like a good cast. Yeah, Larry Cohen, recently watched The Stuff by him and did enjoy that. He also did It's Alive and God Told Me To and Q the Winged Serpent, which I've heard good things about. Yeah, I think Stuart got this and has watched it, so he'll probably be talking about it on a video sooner than I will. The Ambulance, yeah, it was 17. This one I was planning on getting a HMV, but they only had the 4K version, which is 25, which I thought was quite expensive. So yeah, ordered this on Amazon, $14.99 for the Blu-ray. They do it in HMV if anyone's going in there looking for it, but yeah, on Arrow sometimes the 4K will be an extra $5, which I don't mind, but an extra tenner or like 40% more on top of the standard Blu-ray for a film like this, early 90s, low budget French extreme horror. Don't know if it's really going to be worth £10 4K, but baby blood. So when I first started getting into French horror, watching Inside, Martyrs, The Ordeal, Chitan, few like that, I heard this was like the first one from 1990, because yeah, a lot of the French extreme movement, you know, it has started probably the early 2000s, 2001 or so, whereas yeah, this is 1990 by Alain Robac, starring Emmanuel Escoru, Jean-Francois Galot, and Christian Siniger. Sorry if I've messed up the French pronunciation, but yeah, don't think it's as serious as like Inside and Martyrs and Switchblade Romance, that are not only gory and intense, are well-made films, but they're not fun. Whereas, yeah, this, she works for a traveling circus, a parasitic creature crawls into her uterus, demands blood, she's bringing it blood and killing people sort of thing. Yeah, I don't know too much about it, but heard it's the kind of original trendsetter of these sort of French horror in general, but French extreme movement. Sure, there was French horror films in like the 50s and 60s, things like with Eyes Without a Face. But yeah, that heard it's quite a bloody good time. All right, last two. Sorry, this has gone on quite long. I did promise people in the comments of the last video, because I've done 2 45 minutes, that I try and keep this under half an hour, but I've got too much. Al sent me too big and good a package, but thank you, Al. This one is an upgrade for me, so I've had it on DVD. Talking of French extreme films, is Livid, by the directors of Inside, Julien Maury and Alexandre Bustillo. Is Livid. So yeah, had it on DVD, did enjoy it, watched it twice. Seen this in CEX for like the last few months, but at a tenner, I wasn't never sure whether to pull the trigger. Out of the sort of French extreme films I have seen, there's about 8 or 9, if you're including ones like Irreversible and Climax. I thought this was one of the weaker ones. But yeah, finally pulled the trigger, paid £10 for it, because I think it is out of print. Got to say, on a rewatch, might just be because, it's better picture, better sound quality, but really enjoyed it. Almost as good as Inside. Genuinely creepy, atmospheric, really well shot. Some brilliant cinematography, really good music. It's like a music box theme. You'll understand it when you see the film. Not really a spoiler to say, because it does show her on the back. I mean, it's saying here a bit of a twist on a vampire take, which is true. But yeah, Abigail, brilliant. One of the best, definitely horror films I've seen of the last few years, but of modern times. Thought it was really original, but once you see this girl, it's basically a young girl with her hair in a bun, ballet outfit on, sharp teeth, she's a vampire. Yeah, so they've kind of, maybe it's a coincidence, but being a horror fans, the two guys that have created Abigail, let me just quickly see. I've only got one more to show, so it should end at 45 minutes. Matt Bentonelli, Olpin, and Tyler Gillett. Yeah, whether it's a coincidence or they big fans of this and it's influenced them. Yeah, they have kind of took the idea of the vampire ballet girl from Livid. But yeah, some really genuinely creepy scenes. A really good film in general, yes. I wouldn't quite say I prefer it over Inside. Probably more entertaining. Really good set pieces, some good gore. Yeah, I won't say too much. It's not really a spoiler, but this woman gets a job as a carer, going home to home. She's like an apprentice, and this lady's teaching her. Gets to this old ballet dancer's house. She's paralysed. She's in this huge mansion in the middle of nowhere, in a bed with like a breathing mask on. And then the lady says she's got a load of treasure. So this woman tells her two friends, they're all quite poor. They want to sort of leave. I guess they're living in Paris suburb. They want to leave the area with some money. So they decide to go back to her house after hours and look for the treasure. And then it all descends into chaos and a nightmare from there. But yeah, really impressed on a third watch of that one. Has gone up in my estimations. Like I say, could just be I enjoyed it more. Could just be because it's on Blu-ray, it looks and sounds better. And then this one was the other Christopher Smith film I was talking of. So do have it on DVD, but this is an upgrade. It's Melissa George in Triangle. So yeah, this is a real head twister. Really messed up. Can't really say what happens because it's a bit of a spoiler, but they're basically on like a cruise ship, and then something bad happens, and yes, too much of a spoiler to say more than that, but yeah, big fan of Melissa George and 30 Days of Night, and she was in something else I watched recently she was really good in, but I can't think off the top of my head what it was. Written and directed by Christopher Smith. So yeah, the only one, obviously now I've upgraded Black Death recently to Blu-ray, upgraded this to Blu-ray, upgraded Severance from DVD to 4K, and now I just need to upgrade Creep, but I'm not paying to get it imported from Umbrella for like £60 or whatever, including the postage, and it takes a month to get it from Australia. So yeah, holding out on an upgrade of Creep, as that's probably my favourite out of his 4 films. But if you haven't seen or heard this and you like sort of head twisters, think if I had to sum it up, the weirdness of being John Malkovich crossed with Ghost Ship, if anybody knows that from like the 2000s, but nowhere near as silly. But yeah, quite a head twister, quite creepy, kind of a thriller as much as a horror. But yeah, Triangle, 98 minutes from 2002. 9 is saying here, not sure that's correct. 15 contains strong violence, horror, and language. So yeah, that's everything I've got in the last, well, let's say this weekend. Not got too much more money now, so hopefully won't be picking up anything this month. I say that, and then, you know, you hear there's really good releases, so I think I'm going to pre-order In the Mouth of Madness 4K from Arrow Video, and then unless any other surprise releases come out I really need to get that give me FOMO, hopefully won't be upgrading too much more. So yeah, probably won't be back with a haul. Guess the next video will be recent watches, but I've only watched about 6 or so since the last one. Some of these I have watched, so I'll talk about them in more detail when I get to them. Hopefully it hasn't gone on too long and bored you. Thank you, Al. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I'll tag the people down below that I spoke about. It's usually the same unusual suspects. Yeah, I think that's everything I've got to say. Hopefully this has been entertaining. Thank you, bye.